All right, friends, here I am back with volume 3 of my trip to England. This one is just the detour we took out to Disneyland Paris. So I did give it just a separate spine, although it is in my brain part of the series of the 2 England trips. It's still in that black mica where I did the slate spine, but I am going to replace it with the black mica now that you can get it. But if you need to mix and match your spines, I don't think it looks terrible. I said this before, but when it's on the shelf, you only see the spine and a tiny hair of the color. And even granted, when it's lying on a table, you do see that contrast, but I don't think that looks bad. And of course, once it's open, you only see the inside. So it doesn't matter what color anything is, the cover or the spine. So this title page, this was a packaging from a box of little individually packaged chocolates, but it had the Disneyland Paris, Notre Dame, and Minnie Mickey. And so I just used that as my title. I just, ate the chocolate and cut the box apart. And whenever I do Disney, I love to take advantage of sparkly, glittery paper. So this is just some glittery paper that I was able to use for this Disneyland Paris. We stayed at a little hotel called the Dream Castle. I talked about how when I was planning my trip, Julie mentioned that there's an express train from London straight to the gates of Disneyland Paris in about 2.5 hours. So I couldn't afford to stay at a Disney branded hotel, but there's a couple of these little hotels close by had a free shuttle, and it was much more affordable. So Dream Castle. We were on the first floor in the Frog Wing, and the free breakfast was amazing. All the Nutella you could eat. Look at that giant jar of Nutella. I didn't eat it all. Oh, little fleur-de-lis. I've had this punch forever. So it's just, France. When in France. So here we are. We actually, we arrived in Disneyland about an hour, Sunday afternoon. Okay. Disneyland Paris is about an hour from Paris. We got there Sunday afternoon, checked into our hotel, and then got to the park by 4 p.m. So here I am. It was their 20th anniversary, which is interesting, because 9 years later, it's their 30th anniversary. So this must have been the tail end of their 20th anniversary celebration. My one and only trip so far to Disneyland Paris. Again, I have an 8x12, and this one I had some just shiny metallic paper that I just have one strip here and one strip here. Lots of just white background paper. So 20th anniversary celebration train. Just love the pretty colors. I said there were all sorts of special festivities going on. Starting with this train at the entrance. We got there just in time to see the train. What time is the 4 o'clock parade? Apparently it's at 4 o'clock when we got there. So Disneyland Paris is similar to the Magic Kingdom in Florida. There's a lot more emphasis on Disney's French theme movies and characters. Beauty and the Beast, Ratatouille, The Aristocats, Hunchback of Notre Dame, and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. So here's my park map. I always save those. I don't always put a park map in my Disney albums. I go to Disney World enough that it's kind of the same. But because this was my first time in the park, I absolutely wanted to put my park map. I don't know what this looks like, packaging from something, because it says exclusive Disneyland Paris. And that must be my ticket. I printed out on the internet. So Sleeping Beauty Castle. I actually really love this layout. Sleeping Beauty Castle in Paris is just beautiful. And I just kind of mimicked the castle by, cutting triangles and making towers and putting little fleur-de-lis on top of them. The title gets a little bit lost, but it was worth it to me. Another 8x12. Apparently, Costco's Photo Center had a great time. I love Disneyland Paris because there's this dragon in the dungeon. It is so cool. You might want to look it up on YouTube because it moves around and it blows steam. It's actually kind of scary. So I did this on black shimmer paper, and I used the dragon is actually on metallic green paper, but super simple. I just, black with that green line. It was awesome. Loved the dragon in the dungeon and the moat. And I wish that all the castles had dragons in the dungeon, like Elliot from Pete's Dragon. Upstairs in the castle, there's the Sleeping Beauty story. You can do this walkway with all these beautiful stained glass pictures that tell the story of Sleeping Beauty. Here's the sleeping guard, some animated stuff. And then there's a door to the outside where you can get a lovely view of Fantasyland. So that was cool. So it's not called Tomorrowland in Disneyland Paris. It's called Discoveryland. And it's kind of a steampunk theme. Very cool. So I had these steampunk stickers from Jolie's and this paper, which my brain is wanting to say it was from Close to My Heart. I took a picture of this cheeseburger that had the 20th anniversary logo because I said I paid $15 for this cheeseburger. So when you go to Paris, don't do the math between euros and dollars because it will make you sad. So, but I love the steampunk stuff, and I love just the Space Mountain, and it was just cool. It's a very pretty park. So another bucket list item for me. So the Nautilus is from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and you get to walk through the little submarine. For this one, I had one piece of this kind of cool wavy paper. So I cut it in half, and I put one triangle here and one triangle here, and then just put my picture. So it kind of looks like a river, whatever, down the side. You could actually cut this with the wavy trimmer. You couldn't because it won't fit in. It won't fit in the wavy trimmer. I guess if you folded it and did it. I may have to try that for something. But that way I was able to take the one piece of paper that I had and use it on both sides. And I could have done it the other way. I could have put the, you know, the papers to the outside. But I just played around with it till I figured out what I liked. Buzz Lightyear's Laser Blast. So it's not Space Ranger Spin. This layout, I am 100% positive, was inspired by a layout that I saw on Pinterest. I love to go to Pinterest, especially for Disney stuff that I've scrapbooked a lot because I run out of ideas. But I found some layout on Pinterest that inspired me. And of course, my layout doesn't look the same as theirs, but it inspired me, like with the circles and the, you know, there's like a navy stripe back here and all the stars and the planets. So I love to see what people come up with when they've looked at layouts on Pinterest. Off to Fantasyland. I said I always thought Disney World food prices were crazy high, but they don't even come close to Disneyland Paris. The dinner at this place was €64.99, which equals about $85.78. So I said no dining with Susie and Perla for us. We did not eat at Cinderella's at Disneyland Paris. But we did indeed look around places. They had the Old Mill. Yeah, that's one of the Disney short movies that was innovative in some of the things that they, camera tricks and stuff that they did. This Cinderella statue is very similar to the one at Disney World. So more just pictures from Fantasyland, just kind of some of the different things and the things that were different and the things that were the same. This is another layout that was 100% scrap lifted from Pinterest, using the Jolie stickers. I mean, I think, you know, the one on Pinterest is a little bit different. I think it was a single page layout, and I had to stretch mine out. I wanted to stretch mine out to 4. I wanted to have more pictures that I had taken and pictures with me and my sister, and fewer just the Jolie stickers. And it was hard for me to find these Jolie stickers. And this was probably 4 or 5 years ago that I purchased these. I don't know if they still exist, but I was really glad to have them. You could probably replicate this with some other kind of clip art or something printed from the computer, but I just love kind of the blue on blue. I don't know. I love this layout. I love the simple, clean lines of it and the flowers and off with her head. And I stretched it across too because we just took so many pictures, and we're in lots of them. You know, it's not just pictures of the scenery. It's pictures of us. Okay, so I did 3 double page layouts of the Alice in Wonderland. So that's pretty good if I stretched all my things to last. 1 pack of stickers to last 6 pages instead of 1. But I was able to get all these pictures in. And I know a lot of people try to fit everything on like to one layout. They're like, oh, I don't want to do 2 layouts for 1 attraction or 1 event. But why? I love the pictures, and I love to look at these, and I love to get to use all the ones that are my favorite and not just one of the ones that's my favorite. So this is the land of, called the Land of Fairy Tales. I said the Storybook Land canal boats are my favorite ride at Disneyland. And I think I like the Disneyland Paris version even better because of the miniature scenes it has. Interestingly enough, Disneyland now has more of these. You go into Monstro there, but Chernabog from Fantasia is my favorite villain, so that was pretty cool. But boy, I had fun in the Land of Fairy Tales. Casey Jr., the best part of the Casey Jr. train is that it goes through Fairy Tale Land, so I got to see it again from a different angle. So that was fun, the Casey Jr. Circus train. And I just kind of tried to use some of the colors in the title, kind of a modified color block. So instead of color blocking around my photos, I color blocked the background. I think it turned out fun. Adventureland, home of Pirates of the Caribbean. They have Skull Rock. It's very cool. The sandy beach. The Blue Lagoon restaurant, kind of like the one in Disneyland. And we did not eat in it. I don't even know how much it cost, but I'm sure that it was more than I wanted to spend. So apparently we got a ride photo on Pirates of the Caribbean, and I didn't buy it. I don't know why. Because there we are right there. I should have bought it. You guys, you know I'm the one that buys the picture. I think this is, again, close to my heart paper. Kind of this diamond pattern and the little circles. I thought the diamonds kind of felt piratey. Aladdin's Enchanted Passage. I said, as you can probably tell by now, I love miniature movie scenes. So this Aladdin walkthrough was right up my alley. So we walked through the little Aladdin passage. Onto Frontierland. I said, poor Julie, I hope she knew that I'm not one for thrill rides, but I like to look at lots of things. So I think she went on a couple without me, and she seems to be fine with that. But I just wanted to see the things. I just wanted to be there and experience being at Disneyland Paris for my first time ever. So Main Street, USA is the same in all the parks and comforting and welcoming. This one also has a covered arcade walkway behind the shops that really helps with traffic flow. I think because it rains more. Can you believe it rains more in Paris than it does in Florida? So when it's raining and stuff, you can walk through and get to the shops from the back. And I apparently don't have a picture of that, but just kind of felt, this feels like, again, close to my heart paper, I think, and kind of old-fashioned style American-y. So their haunted mansion is called the Phantom Manor. This layout is actually from close to my heart. They do their workshops on the go. And so I was at a scrapbooking retreat years and years ago, and there was a close to my heart girl there, and she did this layout class. It was before Creative Memories started doing the similar thing with the project recipes. But these are cool because they're like felt embellishments, kind of puffy for me, a little bit more lumpy bumpy than I'm used to. But I loved that I had a layout that was already done. I was like, oh, I can just put my pictures on. And then I had enough of the stuff that I was able to do a second layout with more things from like the yard. One of the things I thought was so interesting is how much stuff was in English. Even though we were in France, all this stuff is, the Here Lies Leadfoot Fred, danced too hard and now he's dead. Quarreled and fought as man and wife, now silent together beyond this life. So all the tombstones are in English, which is great because I think this is supposed to be set like in the Wild West. I think that's kind of their gimmick or their backstory here. So this one I called Mystery Lake. I don't know what it is. It was off to the side of the Phantom Manor. It looks like there should be something. I mean, they obviously, I don't think this was there. I think they built it, but I don't know what it's supposed to be. I said, it's fenced off and there's nothing there. It was a little sad to see such a beautifully designed area abandoned and lonesome, but did give a moment of peace in a crowded, busy day. So pretty cool looking. Who knows? Maybe something's there now. Disney Magic on Parade. Apparently that was the name of it. This is just a plain white page and some washi tape. And of course, the man himself, I did put him in a little gold frame because, he's my man, Mickey, and he smiled at me. I said we ended up watching the parade twice. The first time we were in a spot with the sun shining right in our eyes. So the next day we found a better place on Main Street to watch it in the shade. So that's why some of these pictures have a lot of the glare. Mickey right here in the glare. But then the next day we got to watch it in the shade. Because, of course, we went back the next day. I said the worst thing about the visit to Disneyland Park is how many smokers we saw. But just like in the U.S., there are designated smoking areas, but nobody seemed to use them, and the cast members didn't seem to enforce them. I said almost worse when the smoking, though, was how many people climbed up on things to try and see the parade. It was so weird to see adults standing on trash cans or pulling chairs from eating areas to stand on. I mean, you just don't see that in the U.S. I mean, people just we just squeeze all together, but kind of makes sense. I kind of wish they would have let us stand on a chair. Of course, they're probably worried that we're going to fall and break our necks and sue them. But so I did just say this is not the Disney I know. That was kind of the darker side of Disney. So the fireworks show at that time was called Disney Dreams. It was phenomenal. It was like the best fireworks show I've ever seen. This is before the U.S. parks started having the light projections on the castle, and it was phenomenal. We came back the next day to watch it again because we liked it so much. There's a sign in there where a line in the song where it's the genie singing, and he says, you know, I'm going to make the sucker disappear. And like they turn the lights out, and I swear to you, it looks like the castle vanishes. It was totally awesome. I said the projections on the castle made it look like the parts were moving. So that was really cool. And then here we are. I don't know why this cast member is in the picture with my sister, but at the time it was funny, and I guess it was funny enough that I put it in. And then we have this just picture of us. No photo pass there. This was all stuff we had to take with our own cameras, but pretty nifty picture. We had such a good time. So I said the other part of Disneyland is the Walt Disney Studios, equivalent of Disney's Hollywood Studios. This is where Lights, Motors, Action originated. I said we had park hopper tickets and spent time in both parks during our 2.5 days. So I don't really remember, you know, a lot of times I try to scrapbook chronologically, but this time I kind of just grouped it by park. Here's another 8x12 because I could. So here's the Walt Disney Studios. It's a much smaller park than Disneyland and a much smaller park than Hollywood Studios. This is a postcard. I think it might have actually been, again, from that candy. And then this was from the map, I think. Oh, yeah, this is the map, the piece of the map. Anyway, so, you know, get what memorabilia you can and use it in your things. So this is just different scenes within the studios. You know, of course, the partner statue. I love Sorcerer Mickey, Hollywood Tower of Terror. Apparently Jessie was like a new show, and I guess Julie's kids must have liked it because I still don't know what it was. These are some stickers I got at Hobby Lobby, and I think this was CM paper. Oh, here's a picture of the covered entrance gallery. So you still have ways to get into the park without having to walk just down Main Street. I said several of the attractions are ones we've experienced in Florida, but others are unique to this park. The Armageddon show was loud, slightly educational, and pretty boring. But Animagique was a kid-friendly puppet show, but Cinemagique was fantastic. It stars Martin Short, who is not my favorite actor, but in this role, he almost won me over. He plays an obnoxious theater guest who ends up getting trapped in the movies and has to travel through silent movies, westerns, gangster films, and even a romance before he manages to get himself free. We loved it so much, it was the only thing besides the Disney Dreams fireworks that we went to twice. So, probably on YouTube, you know, because I didn't take pictures, but someone always does. So Toy Story Playland. This is before the one in Florida, before we had a Toy Story Land. So they had Slinky Dog Dash. Oh, it's called Slinky Dog Zigzag Spin there. Guess it's a little bit different. Giant Buzz Lightyear, some giant dominoes. Very fun. Very fun. I love Toy Story, and I'm glad that we have one in Florida now. Oh, so this is Luigi's. This is like in California Adventure where they have the Cars stuff. But just a fun Crush's coaster. They had this parachute drop thing. This was like a big letter U kind of shaped ride that people go up and down. I don't know. We didn't ride anything. It was just fun to look around. And I have this Toy Story paper. I have no idea where it came from. Maybe CM. Probably not. Art of Disney Animation. I said I love getting to draw a Disney Character Animation Academy. Fortunately, it was closed. I'd been interested to see how well I'd be able to follow directions I couldn't understand, and the drawing desks were so cute. They had little Mickey seats. I guess this just adds to my reasons for needing to go back. And I have this cute kind of Disney Mickey comics paper. I had it in two colors. So I had it in the tan and I had it in the red. And so I cut it so that it matches. It lined up right here so that the artwork just is seamless. I'm pretty proud of myself for that. This layout is another one I copied almost completely from a layout on Pinterest. I used the I used the film strip punch. I don't know what I used actually to make these. This might have been before we had the film strip punch. Let's see if I can tell how I made it. Nope, I can't tell how I made that. I must have just punched out something and made it work. If you had the film strip punch or even the roller coaster punch, you can cut and make film strips really easily. But definitely this basic layout idea came from Pinterest. I do have a Pinterest page. My Pinterest name is Nicole So, and I have all my Disney layout, the layouts. I have a section that is where I show the inspiration layout, and then I show a picture of my layout that came after. So if you want to look for me on there on Pinterest, you can find that album on my Pinterest. And I do have my layout ideas very well organized. So if you're looking for, Disney Hollywood Studios layout ideas, you can go to my Disney Hollywood Studios scrapbook page ideas and just find them like that. Disney Stars and Cars Parade. I sometimes wonder how many other grown-ups get as excited as I do to see my favorite Disney characters in real life. I use little quotation marks. But this is a fun one. It's just squares. I mean, we used to do squares a lot. Old CM, we had not very many punches, but one of them was the squares. I have a Mickey Mouse head punch. I actually have 2 different sizes of them. But I just kind of did the squares, and probably an idea from Pinterest, actually. So the studio backlot tour, I said it's pretty much the same as the Florida version, just with different movie props. Little did I know that the Florida version was going away, and it's not the same anymore. And I don't know if they still have this, but it was fun. I enjoyed this ride. We're getting to the end. I said the exit to both parks brings guests right to the entrance of the Disney Village, which has got to be helpful for businesses. So the 2 parks is kind of like Disneyland California, where everything's right there. You don't have to drive to get from one park to the other. You can just walk, and then you walk to get your bus or the train back to Paris or London, which is what we did. So here, this was our last day. Our suitcase got in the picture because, you ask a random person to take your picture. But this is Disney Village. And then went back. And here I said, heading home. What a great trip there. I got to see so much, but there's so many things I still want to experience. I'll have to go again. Hopefully my husband can go with me the next time. So I love to do this. I live in Central Time, but I change planes in Atlanta. So I left Atlanta at 10:51 p.m. I landed at 10:46, and I said, yeah, I'm a time traveler, because that's my favorite thing to do, be a time traveler and go home. So there you go, Disneyland Paris. Again, my book is very thick. I tend to put a lot fewer pages in my albums now. What you can do is you can take these. I am going to get new ones of this. But if you take your spine and you take a piece of cardstock, you guys know how much I love these cardstocks from our paper packs, which they sadly don't do anymore. Cut this in half at 6 inches and just tape this on here with a couple rows of tape runner. So you got your 6 inches. And when you tuck that in, it'll keep your spine cover from falling out. And so at some point I'll do a quick video on that, but probably not today. I'll wait till I get the black mica spines, so that these have the correct spines to go with the albums that they are. So I hope you've enjoyed reliving my trip to England and Disneyland Paris. And again, thanks to Kelly Creates for reminding me that it has been far too long since I've done an album flip through. Makes me feel great to know that you guys do enjoy looking at those. And if I slack off again, Kelly or anybody else, feel free to give me a little nudge and remind me that you're out there waiting for me. All right, thanks a lot, and happy scrapbooking.